Hey, it's Day. Welcome to my channel. Bruno says it looks like rain. In doing so, floods my brain. Married in a hurricane. We don't talk about Bruno. No. So today's video is a little bit different. I am kind of just gonna talk about my projects for the year. I have 3 major writing projects. They each get their own bullet journal. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I love having like my series Bible in a bullet journal. Today I'm going to be talking about the 3 big projects. I'm sure there will be like lots of smaller ones along the way, but for the most part I have Project Grimoire, which is a trilogy, and this one is first drafted all the way through and in revision. Then I have Project Tundra / Full Dark, which is a horror standalone that I started drafting and then stopped mid-draft. So this one is in the 0 / first draft stage. And then Project White in the pink book is a high fantasy novel, which is being world built right now. I have some stats written on my computer and I'm just gonna kind of talk about what I'm doing and what my thoughts are. So the first big project that I have for this year, and the one that will get most of my attention, is Project Grimoire, particularly book 1, which is TTYB. I'm weird about titles, I'm not gonna say it, sorry. So just basics for this book. It is a 5 point of view paranormal fantasy / horror trilogy. I've first drafted all 3 books and am currently rereading book 1. As of today, I am on chapter 15 of 41, so I'm making my way through my reread. My notes are going in here as well, and my hope is that I will be done before the end of January and write out like my revision plan and start actual like rewrites mid-February, because I like to let things sit for a little bit before I pick it back up. And the overall goal for this project is to have TTYB query ready by the fall. I'm really hopeful. I feel like this is the one, so I will do my best to get it out there. As a bit of a summary, I'm going to read what I wrote because I'm very bad at doing these kind of summary things and I'm gonna like get nervous and forget and whatever. So I'm just going to read it. So for TTYB, I have: after the death of their sister, a coven befriends a new witch in town in order to perform a resurrection. Little do they know that the new girl's secrets rival their own. And when their plan and dishonesty backfire, the girls must fix what they broke before an ancient being wakes, seeking cosmic revenge and gullible witches to help them. So numbers, I'm just gonna read them while the computer's there. So book 1, she's a little hefty. Book 1 is 210,099 words, which is a lot. I hear your screams. It is a lot, but it is also 5 points of view, so I can cut it down. Don't worry. Have faith in me. So yeah, book 1 is really long, 210,000 words. Book 2 is 104,566 words, which is much more reasonable. And then book 3 is 94,041 words, which is actually my shortest first draft I've ever written. I'd say like the 120 to 140 range is my average. 140,000 range is my average first draft. Does not matter the genre. I wrote a romance novel first draft and it was like 127,000 or something like that. I just have a lot of words, but I'm okay to cut it down. Like that 127,000 romance, I got it down to like 85K. So have faith in me. I'm really feeling like this one might be the one. I've got several completed books under my belt. I haven't felt this confident about any of them as I do for this one, or these three, I guess. So I'm really hoping to be query ready and finally like get to that stage where I'm putting myself out there. That's the hope. Fall. So for things that I want to work on particularly in this book, there are some smaller things over book 1 and 2 that I would like to work on, especially now that I have book 3 and I know exactly what ending I want. But the biggest thing that I need to revamp is the magic system. I don't think the system itself has issues. I think my presentation of the system is the problem. So I need to work on that. I also feel like from what I've reread of book 1, there's not enough magic. Like I would like a lot more magic. Of the 15 chapters, like there's definitely magical elements, but like we want some spells, we want some transformations, so your girl's gonna work on it. There are also a couple character things that I would like to adjust now that I have the full trilogy down. There are 2 characters, like very, very minor characters, that I'm going to take out completely because I had intentions to kind of bring them back and they just never worked themselves back in. And why do I have them there if they're not going to come back? Remember that 210,000 words? Chop that down, chop that down. Some character stuff. I actually have like a church kind of thing that has always been in the story, but it actually is more relevant later on, so I need to mix it in better in the beginning. There are definitely hints at it, but the character that it's really important for, I think it can be built into her a little bit more. That's what I have to say for this book. TTYB, Project Grimoire, hopefully will be query ready in the fall. So the second bigger project that I'm going to be working on this year is Project Tundra / Full Dark. So I know I just said that I'm like precious with names of novels. However, because I know this one will probably have to change, I will tell you that I call this one Full Dark. I was really sad that Mr. Stephen King and his prolific self already has Full Dark No Stars because Full Dark fits this perfectly. So maybe somebody somewhere will be like, you know what, that's a good name, we'll stick with it. But like I have the feeling that this will not be Full Dark forever. It's called Full Dark. That's what my file is called until somebody tells me otherwise. So this is a single point of view standalone horror novel, which is so strange for me to say. Single point of view, I don't do. Standalone, also don't do. So this is just a great, strange adventure for me, which sucks because I stopped writing it like midway. I didn't even make it to midway. I made it to chapter 12 of this book before I stopped drafting it. I just wasn't really feeling it, and I don't think I wasn't feeling the story. I think I wasn't feeling writing this story at that time. I was also, I think I was working on book 2 of Project Grimoire while I was also drafting this, and I think Project Grimoire just needed more of my attention, and the characters were so different. I was having a hard time getting into Safi's head in this book, so I put it down. However, the entire story is outlined. I have chapter outlines. I know exactly where it's going, and I want to finish it. I actually went back and reread the 12 chapters just to make sure that what I thought was going on was going on. So I reread the 12 chapters and I love them. Obviously, like, everything needs work. It's just the first draft, but the story is so fun and the setting is so fun. I don't know if you guys know what a tundra is, but it's a heck of a lot of snow and cold. Tundra doesn't have necessarily snow, but like where I wrote it, there's lots of snow. It feels so appropriate right now as there's a blizzard outside my window. It just, I don't know, something about the story and the character is like so aloof, but also like she's just got so much inside. Like, I don't know, I just I enjoy writing her. I enjoyed reading it back, and the setting and all the tension that comes in, like, it's basically an isolation horror because she's literally in the middle of nowhere, and I just love that kind of stuff. I just love it. So I decided that I will be working on it again this year. So again, I'm going to read out the summary and then I'll just tell you how long it is. And so, summary for Project Tundra. The story follows a young nurse contracted to work at a weather station in Nunavut during the dark season. But after an in-and-out expedition goes wrong and strands the crew in an impossible forest on an uninhabited island, all the things Safi fled from find her again, and more. This book, I stopped at 33,697 words, which I will say I know is usually that the average, like 30K is where people stop, and usually there's something wrong with the story or they get bored with it, whatever. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with the story, but I was not bored. So I'm gonna get back to it and I'll have more. I'll be up in the 140s again, or the 210s. It's not gonna be 210. It's not, but 140 probably. So just some thoughts on what I would like to work on in the story from my 12 chapter reread. I do think I need to adjust my portrayal of the horror just a smidge. Basically, the story revolves around campfire horror stories. I say campfire in a quotation, just the type of story. And the happenings that follow the first story, I feel like would probably scare them into never telling another scary story again. So I'm unsure how to continue the scary stories and make it believable. But I do think I just need to knock down the impact of the first one so that it can build. In the end, in the broadest sense of the word, they all chill out eventually. So they would probably listen to one more, which I think is all I need. I just need to make sure that that transition into the second story is believable, and that's about where I'm at because they got stuck on the island and they're back at the weather station and their other crew has left, so they're alone, and they're alone for like 3 months. I just need to make sure that everybody is relaxed enough for somebody to ask for another story, which I think I can manage, but we'll see. That's about where I am in the story right now. But I'm really excited to work on it and see what happens. I never get standalone story ideas, so I'm super excited to kind of branch out and write in one point of view. I never do that either. There's always at least 2, and then sometimes I get an idea for 5, like Project Grimoire. So yeah, excited. So my final project that I'll be working on is Project White. This is a dual point of view high fantasy novel that I think will be 4 novels, but I'm not sure yet. I am currently world building this novel, so I don't have a word count as of yet. I actually the other day just did the beginning to end of the first book just to see like if I kind of knew where I wanted the idea to go. So now that I have the first book, the ideas for the first book, I'm gonna go and do the entire story, just so I have something to aim at, because all I need is that end point, and then I'll fill in the rest. But I can't just, walk around in the dark. It doesn't work. That's how you have massive novels that you have to cut down a lot. So the summary I have for this one is a little bit longer and it's a little less focused. I'm just gonna read it. It'll probably change as I learn more about what the story is overall, but as of right now, this is Project White. The curse of the white-haired child is an old and nearly forgotten tale until a princess is born with white hair and constellations on her cheeks. On her 4th birthday, the princess is led beyond the safety of the palace walls and vanishes into a desert winter. She is thought to be dead until a rumor surfaces 24 years later that a priestess with white hair is being kept at the edge of the world, and her time to die is soon. A heavy-hearted hunter is called on by royalty to find the priestess and repay his debts, but there are others who heard the rumors and those who cannot let her go. So that's that. So I'm super excited to work on this project. I've never written like a big fantasy anything before, so I think it's gonna be super fun. I like built out the continent and like gave everything a name. Naming stuff, naming people, characters, easy. Naming places, I cannot do it. So I'm so proud that I have a continent and everything has a name. This is progress, guys. This story actually started as a short story. I basically like had a line and an image of a priestess walking through the street in the rain and nobody is allowed to look at her. And that was basically what started the short story, and I wrote it, and I figured out very quickly that that wasn't enough. So I did put it on hold because I was working on Project Grimoire, but I basically did my like planning and stuff in off times and whatnot. And now I'm hopefully gonna be writing it soon. Even if I only have the outline or whatnot this year, I'm totally happy with that. I'm really enjoying working on it, developing the characters, their names. I will tell you because they have multiple names, but the priestess is Celine and the hunter is Hunter. His name isn't actually Hunter, but he goes by Hunter, so it's fine. It's original. Hunter, the hunter. See what I was doing there? Okay. I actually talked with my friend Sherry at length about this novel, and I just have to say, Sherry, you are the best. It's honestly so nice to have somebody to like bounce ideas off of, and Sherry is a genius. I just have to say, you should check them out on Twitch and on YouTube. They're awesome. But basically, like, I have genuinely a folder full of Discord chat screenshots from Sherry and I, basically just going back and forth, like figuring out this weird tangle of ideas in my head and like making it prettier and make more sense and whatever. So yes, Sherry, you're awesome. I love you. Thank you. Things to work on for this novel, the entire thing, because it's not done at all. Yeah, that's it. Everything. But I'm excited to work on it, so it's fine. My hope is basically that I will have a query-ready novel from Project Grimoire, and I would very much like to have full dark first drafted to completion, and then maybe even a second draft. It's not like a super high priority for me, but it's something that I like and want to work on more, so I definitely don't want to like let it fall by the wayside. And then for my Project White, I am hoping to have the project outline, and I can't say anything about writing it because I am unsure timing wise if it'll work out. It would be very nice if I could even just start the first draft, like maybe that could be my NaNoWriMo project in November. The hope would be that I would have my witch book out querying in the September-October range, and then I could, you know, take a little break and then work on Project White. That sounds like a nice plan. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping that I make good writing progress this year. I'm also in school, and I have 2 jobs, so we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed and do our best, and we will give ourselves grace should we not meet our goals, but we gonna try to meet them. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. If there are any projects you are working on, please let me know in the comments. I'm super excited to hear about your projects. Thank you for watching for 100th time. Have an amazing day. Bye.